we're going to go over the Elliott wave pattern. And I feel like what better thing to do it on than safemoon, just because that's what everybody's kind of talking about right now. And it has a perfect Elliott wave pattern forming. So the first of all, the Elliott wave is 5 waves, and it's to show momentum. It's to show kind of price action and where you can take profits, where you can enter a position, how to judge the strength of a stock. So the first wave is always this kind of long, hardly noticeable wave, and then this is wave two. So that's the first profit taking. Wave one is generally value investors, which I think in safemoon that is not the case. But for regular stocks, value investors, institutions buying because they understand what's going on. It could be a lot of impatience, finally seeing profit and then taking that profit that resets it. Then you have these people, which are people buying back in after taking profits, seeing a decline and seeing fair value for the stock or the coin, whatever it is. And wave three is typically not as sharp as this, but this will be a pretty steady incline. And then wave four is this one here, and that is a lot of profit taking. And it generally is kind of like this sharper decline than wave one. So wave one is oftentimes a rounded decline. Wave three is oftentimes a sharp decline, like a bull flag. And then this is the impulse wave. So the impulse wave is wave five. It's typically the shortest one. And this is people who fear that they have missed out on these two waves, buying in, driving the price up. And then this is the last part of the technically wave five is the last part because there's only 5 waves, but the correction from wave five resets the entire pattern. So ideally this would have more of a consolidation and kind of a longer or steeper decline before working itself back up. Wave two can never dip lower than the start of wave one. Wave four, which is right here, can never dip lower than any point of wave one. So it can never go lower than right here. And then the same can be said with this here. The correctional wave for wave five can never dip beneath wave three. So if any of those happen, then it's invalid. And wave three cannot be the shortest wave of any of them. So that's why this is not wave one here. Wave one is down here. Because if this was wave one, that would make wave three the shortest of all three, rendering it invalid. So it has to be set up this way. Now, you can, if you want to be technical about it, you can get into the Fibonacci's. So basically, wave two is always going to be 50%. So wave two is always going to be 50%, 61.8, 76.4, or 85.4% of wave one. Wave three is always 161, 200%, 261%, 323%, I believe, of wave one and two. And then wave four is always going to be 14.6, 23.6, 38.2%. So typical Fibonacci numbers, they should correlate with each other. But this will never be greater than 50% of wave three. So you can look for that to validate your Elliott waves, and also keep in mind that this can happen on any time frame. So you can have a monthly chart bringing up an Elliott wave, and then you zoom down into a one-day chart and find another Elliott wave, and zoom down into a 1-minute time frame and find another Elliott wave. They play out into each other, but once you kind of see wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this breaking out, you can almost bet that you're going to have a very rapid, sharp incline. The 5th wave is always the steepest one, and it's really helpful if you're spotting them. You can try to kind of assume that there's a wave 1 forming and get in, but typically at the end of wave 4 is where you want to start plotting your entries and everything, which is always going to be the top of wave 3. I play them like bull flags. So once the top of wave 3 is broken, so in this case it would be this 584 number, that's where I would take my entry, write it up. Once you start to see signs of weakness, so realistically this candle here is where I would have started to exit. And then once it falls back down, you would want to see more consolidation before entering again, but this will reset the wave, and then you have another kind of slow and steady incline up. Then you have a wave 2, then you have a sharp incline, and it just keeps repeating itself. So if you find one, I'm sure that you'll be able to find more, especially on different time frames, but this is an extremely helpful tool, and it can work backwards as well. So if you were to inverse or basically flip this chart, things can decline with a steep um, a steep decline, and then a pop up, and then you have a medium decline, pop up, and then you have a very long kind of sweeping decline that would be wave 1. So it's literally just the opposite of what's going on here.